Friday Night Lights tonight, where we have the West Oso Bears hosting the Odom Owls at West Oso. So, a couple of things to look at here really quick, Jacob. The Odom Owls, 0-2. West Oso Bears, 0-2 to start their season. Tonight, someone's leaving victorious.
Exactly, and that's what is exciting about this game. Of course, sadly for both those teams, they did not have the best first 2 weeks, but both teams are looking to get some type of momentum. Now, we watched West Oso last week. They seemed like they were able to drive the ball well, but the biggest thing was they cannot finish their drives, and that really hurt them. A couple of penalties, a couple of turnovers. It just, of course, they were playing against a good Taft football team, but at that same time, they look to just try to make everything plan, basically. They want to finish those drives, and they want to score.
We're not on.
You got the green light.
Here comes the party. Odem.
Yeah.
So out come the teams, and we're ready to go as one of these teams is going home victorious and picking up their first win of the season. So let's take a look at both of these teams. Last week, the Odom Owls faced a tough and much improved Orange Grove team, and they stuck with them for a while until Orange Grove pulled away. And week one, Odom Owls lost to an Ingleside team, and it was a pretty close contest as well. Yeah. So the Odom Owls have come out, and they have been competitive. Now they're looking for that first win. On the other side, the home team, the West Oso Bears, they've been trying to find their groove. Very young team. Last week, they went over to Taft, and that was the game we were at, and they just couldn't find anything really. They did have a couple of good big plays from some playmakers of theirs, and then over in week one, they lost to George West. So I can promise you this, Jacob, both of these teams are hungry and want to get a win tonight.
Oh, most definitely indeed, and it's going to be very exciting. It's just going to be an action-packed game. Now, what are both teams going to end up doing? That's going to be up to them. Now, of course, we could see West Oso try and air the ball out. We could see Odom do that exact same thing. The key is who's going to make the stops, who's going to take advantage of mistakes from both their sides. So that's going to be key. And when that happens, it's going to be a good game.
So let's talk about some playmakers, okay? We got some playmakers on both sides of the team. Starting with the Odom Owls, we're going to be looking at number 7, sophomore quarterback Hunter Dawson. Hunter Dawson standing at a nice and lengthy 6'3". So he's going to have himself some viewing room up top. And right now he's gone for about 155 yards in the air, 77 on the ground, with a total of 3 touchdowns altogether. Another one to look at over there at Odom is running back Mark Moreno with 105 rushing yards on the season and a touchdown. On the other side of the ball, Jacob, we have number 34, outside linebacker Noah Ramirez. He's right now leading the team in tackles with 17. The West Oso Bears, we've seen them, and we've seen that they have some athletes that can make some plays. Starting with number 2, wide receiver / tailback Rashard Harrington, who leads the team in all-purpose yards. And then the playmaker themselves, number 5, Jalen James, who we saw pull down a beauty of a catch for a touchdown last week. What are some words on those?
Well, I mean, you go back to what they did last week. It was just managing to make plays happen, and they were able to do that somewhat, and they showed that they were going to continue to fight throughout that game. And so with, of course, Rashad Harrington making a lot of those plays happen, especially on offense, and then even those defensive plays, they were able to create a couple of turnovers, a couple of even stops on third down, and that's exactly what they have to continue to basically just do.
Perfect. And it looks like West Oso is going to receive the ball to start this game. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're live. It's a short kickoff. Ball is recovered and taken and got themselves some room up the right side of the field before taking out at about the 39.
Yeah, their own 39-yard line. A nice reception, basically, to start this playoff. Guess what? They're closer now to Odom's own side of the field. You try to do those short kicks so that plays like that don't necessarily happen and you can catch them off guard, and I think that was pretty successful on Odom's part, even though, of course, they got a good amount of about 10 yards.
And here come the Bears. And the Bears look like they're going to have a new signal caller this week. Last week, we had Daniel Perez, who was calling the plays in the back. It looks like this week we'll have number 20, Eddie Garza. So Garza, for his first attempt, a little low and incomplete.
Yeah, exactly. A nice job by, I believe that was the intended target was Jalen James. Nice job by James to see that, yes, it was too low. If he would have caught that, guess what? They would have lost yards. So it's a nice job there for him to figure that out, and he tried to make the catch, but it was nice that he
Garza gets the handoff, finds a little bit of room, gain about 2. We have a little bit of extra activities going on back there. I'm not sure where the ball came out once the running back came down.
But already a start at third down. So a nice start with Odom there and their defense to not allow anything to happen downfield. And, of course, we expected West Oso to try this running game, and who knows, it might improve throughout this game, but they're going to try and pass.
So Garza decides to pull it down, finds some room to run on the right side. Looks like he's got the first down a little bit more. So there we go. Eddie Garza pulls down the ball and takes it himself for the first down.
Yeah, nice job by Garza, as we're going to get a quick little instant replay from that. But just really finding the room, and that's what he can do on the
ball handed off to Carrington, who finds some little bit more room. It looks like they have a lot of momentum going their way. Rashad Carrington comes around the corner on that motion and finds himself nice running room up the right-hand side.
Yeah, Carrington, real nice, just continuing to move the ball forward for his team as well, continuing that momentum that he had from last week and even, of course, that first week of football.
Snap is off. Garza keeps it himself over around the right side, picks up that first down.
One thing that I'm impressed at is they have learned, this whole West Oso team has learned that they know they don't have the best offensive line, and so their time is limited, so he has to make plays. The front line basically has to make plays instantly to figure out, or just decisions instantly to see where they can go, if they have to run it or if they are able to lob it just a little bit.
Coming off of that trips left, he's looking for a little hitch, finds it, and he's stretching, trying to get every yard that he can. Maybe gets back, maybe gets about 1, and that was Carrington once again.
Yeah, good job from Carrington to at least get back to the line. It looks like he did gain a little bit, but actually, well, it's tough to tell for sure, but either way, second down, and it's going to be a little bit of a tough second down for sure.
Garza looking over to the sideline, waiting for the call. Also in a trips right. Garza pulls back, looking for a receiver, has some time, makes a little scramble, decides to keep it himself, gets down that left sideline, picks up about 4.
Huge gain on second down, picking up 4, deciding to scramble, and it looks like they will have an official timeout, so we'll take one as well, but either way, good start for West Oso.
TVNS specializes in provider services, respite care, and emergency response services. TVNS are pioneers in the home care industry. in service for over 37 years. 11 locations from Brownsville to Corpus Christi, from Harlingen to Laredo.
Today's game is sponsored by TVNS, the pioneers in serving our community with the highest quality in provider services.
Back from that injury timeout, we have about 9:47 in the first, as West Oso has been doing a great job moving the ball down the field. And it's been a little bit of this and that with quarterback Eddie Garza at the helm. Garza in the shotgun, gets the ball, pulls it down himself, looking for some room to run up the middle. Finds just a bit, and it could be enough for the first down. Let's see where they mark the ball.
It will be moving the chains for West Oso, so this is huge. Just about to be in the red zone. Technically, it's still another first down and 10, but how about that? Being able to really just have something going for them on this first drive. They wanted that type of momentum and are able to get it.
So Garza's been doing a good job pulling down the ball and looking for some gaps, and he's been able to gain some yards. And let's see if they keep going. Looks like they want to go to the air, and Garza finds his receiver, and it's caught! Great catch, great throw, as the West Oso Bears are knocking on the door for a touchdown. That was number 5, Jalen James.
Exactly, looking at the replay. I mean, from my perspective, even I was able to see that he had plenty of room, plenty of space. Right in the middle, it was a little bit of a slant upright, but still able to make that happen.
Garza pulls it himself, and he makes his way in there for the Bear touchdown.
Yes, it will be a touchdown indeed. Let's try to look for the ref, but a nice job there to haul it in for 6 points. And just like that, the momentum is with West Oso at the start of the game, and they couldn't be any more thrilled.
So a spark coming from number 20, Eddie Garza, something that West Oso Bears had been lacking the last couple of weeks. This kid's just coming out with a lot of energy and ready to put West Oso on the board. Extra point is up, and it is good.
Another huge point there, able to get full 7 points. And, well, you talk about it. Football is a game of emotion. And that's something that we knew both teams would definitely have because they wanted that. They were hungry for this win. And not to mention that now West Oso had their starting quarterback from the beginning of the season hurt. So they were playing with a little more energy to say this one is for him. And, of course, yeah, able to just show and playing in front of their home fans that, look, we're here to stay. We're going to want this win.
Definitely. And we want to thank all of our viewers for tuning in. This is Real Sports Live. Please remember to like, share, comment. We are on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Find us at Real Sports Live Network. So Bears up 7-0, 9:05 in the first quarter. And this is exactly how Brad Smithy wanted to start this game. Scoring first. So here comes Odom. Odom looking for a little bit of room on the receiver. And now let's see what the Owls are going to come out with. Owls sporting their white uniforms with blue. Shiny helmets there. We got a close look at the Oso Bears helmets earlier when they were walking on the field, and those things are like a matte black. Beautiful helmet. So here come the Owls, led by number 7, Hunter Dawson. Dawson hands off the ball. And Dawson actually keeps that, finds a little bit of room up to run the middle. Picks up about 6.
Solid first down play gets it, just like you said, gets it about 6 yards. So now you're talking about a 2nd down and 4. Only 4 yards to really go for this first down. Couldn't have asked for a better first play for Odom to try and, of course, get back downfield and answer.
Dawson gets the snap, hands the ball off. Big room to run, picks up the first down. And that's number 35, Xavier Drennan.
So here's one of our star players, I guess, right there. Especially they're going. It seems like Odom's going to run the ball a lot, so look for him to make a lot of yards. Now, will West Oso try and adjust their defense to try and stop him particularly? That might be a case that we'll see later on.
The Bears are definitely going to get a heavy dose of Drennan and Moreno at the running back tonight. And like I said, Dawson, standing a tall 6'3", is going to have a lot of viewing room up top. Once again, quarterback keep. Little to nothing there on that play. A wall of red for the Bears.
Exactly, and we knew it was kind of coming up sooner rather than later for sure, as he knew he could only do it for so long. You keep doing the same play, the defense is going to catch on. So nice job by West Oso to figure out that he was going to do that. And so now, of course, you're going to talk about he's going to have to use that height to try and find somebody downfield.
Dawson in the shotgun. Drennan in the backfield with him. And there's flags on the play.
Going to be a false start, looks like, against the Odom. The Odom Owls.
Definitely a fired up crowd here on the West Oso side tonight. And it's great to have that support. Owls to the line. Dawson ready for the snap. Ball is snapped, and Dawson keeps it himself, trying to get away on that right side of the field. Puts his head down and picks up a tough 3 or 4 yards.
Yeah, huge 3-yard gain. It will be 3rd down, though. They needed the yardage to gain, of course, since, of course, losing about 5 yards. So just something for Odom to try and get anything on this drive. Now, West Oso trying to make a 3-and-out, or not a 3-and-out, but basically just they're trying to make this huge stop, and it could be possible.
Big play, big 3rd and 7 for the Owls. Let's see if the Oso Bears can pull a stop right here. This would be big for them as well. Ball is handed off, and they are immediately stopped for a short gain. Tackle by number 72, Lorea, for the Bears.
Huge stop by Lorea. And, well, guess what? Now 4th down. So West Oso able to stop the Odom Owls on their first drive. And so now West Oso, you see what's going to happen on this kick.
And the Owls are going to go for it, but now they're looking over to the sideline. They may adjust to a punt formation. Let's see if Dawson is also their punter.
And they will call a timeout probably now.
I'm not sure if that's what Coach Huerta over at Odom wanted, but they pulled the flags on the field and going to take them back.
Instead of that, they just decided to take the delay, basically. And so that's just going to be a longer punt, basically.
Maybe they wanted to get back, so they didn't give him a touchback or something like that. So gives the punter a little bit more room to work, and it's a beauty of a punt. And takes a nice Odom Owl bounce. The ball is touched and picked up at about the 2-yard line. He's trying to find some room to run, but doesn't get much.
So apparently that was in the Odom Owl game plan the whole time. Take the delay of game, get back about 5 to 10 yards, and send it basically across the field. So it worked out perfectly.
Coach Huerta knows his personnel. He knew that his punter has a strong leg. So he said, you know what, we'll go back about 5 yards, 6 yards, and then we'll punt the ball and give you a better spot. And that's exactly what happened right there. So coming off of a touchdown on their first drive, West Oso is looking to extend their lead. 5-13 in the first. And here come the Bears. Led today by number 20, Eddie Garza, at the quarterback position. Man in motion, coming around. Ball is kept by Garza. Finds a little bit of room to run, but the ball's popped out on the floor, and it could be a fumble. And it is.
How about that? Just like that, in an instant, the momentum kind of shifts. And now Odom, after reversing the field, now they have perfect field for it. They just have a perfect view of the end zone. So this is going to be very exciting for the Owls.
And the linebacker on that hit that popped the ball out. Perfect hit on the ball to make that ball come out. Here come the Owls. Ball's handed off, but met immediately at the line of scrimmage by that big red Bear defense.
That's something that we saw last week too, is that the the Bears defense were incredible. Well, were basically very good, and so they were able to have some good stops. Now, granted, it was, of course, their offense, unlike tonight, was a little bit slower. So it seems like that is West Oso's perfect plays around here.
Snap goes a bit high. He just get it off, throws it up there. It's a jump ball, and it's incomplete. And that was Kyle Castañeda who threw that ball up there. And it was playable, and both the defensive back and the receiver had a play on it, just couldn't grab it.
Exactly. I think it was more of a nice play. Of course, when you're the defense, you want something like that to happen where you can kind of just defend him, get the wide receiver off the view just a little bit, and I think that's exactly what was able to happen for West Oso.
On the West Oso defense, big-time playmaker, number 44, defensive end, Patrick Garcia. He leads the team in tackles this season so far. 4 of those tackles for loss. So he's been coming through clutch for the Bear defense. Ball snap, looking back, looking for a receiver on the slant, and it's incomplete.
It was right there as well. The intended target just could not get his hands up fast enough, basically, to bring it in and to haul it in for the touchdown. So those are plays that, of course, if it even gets later, the Odom Owls might say, we could have had this or could have had that.
Those are the type of plays when you get to district play that Odom is going to have to capitalize to get themselves a shot of winning their district zone. Here come the Owls, man in motion. Flags all over now.
And it looks like it might be 5 yards back against the Odom Owls. It looks like they are moving back. Indeed it is. False start.
And let's talk about Odom's district this year. You know, everything's been split due to our pandemic, so they're representing 3A, Division II, Region 16, and they're going to have 2 opponents in district, which will be Taft and Skidmore Tynan.
Yeah, it doesn't get any easier than that, or well, for sure it could get more difficult in my opinion, but something that they'll have to work with.
Ball is handed off. Grinds up the middle. And that was Mark Moreno on the carry. So now we're in a tricky situation. Looking at a 4th down. Ball on about the 15, 14-yard line. It looks like they're going to take a chance and go for it.
I mean, I think you could go for it, but early on, I think you just take the points here. You have a kicker that will be perfect to make this kick from about 25 yards or 15, but instead, yes, they will. They will go for it.
3:40 in the first, and the Odom Owls are going to go for it on 4th down. Drops back, and it's deflected. Big defensive stop for the West Oso Bears.
something that, of course, they definitely wanted after a miscue by the offense. The defense comes in clutch, and just like that, it keeps the crowd into it. If you're the home team, definitely keeps the crowd into it and gets even the offense excited that, look, I have a second chance now. We're still up by 1 touchdown, and let me make up for it by most likely going up 2 scores.
Definitely, Jacob. And I can guarantee you that Coach Smithy is very happy with how his team's playing right now. Scoring first, making a big 4th down block right there, stop, and now let's see how it goes. 20, Eddie Garza in the shotgun. Ball snapped and it's handed off. Looking like he has a little bit of room to run, and then some. Getting some speed, still on his feet. Refuses to go down. Big time run by the running back.
Absolutely a massive play. Looking back on it here.
Number 10, Danny Escavel. And Danny Escavel leads the team in carries. And that's probably his biggest run of the season so far.
Most definitely his biggest run. Just something that they definitely worked on throughout this year at the start of it.
Ball snapped back to that play right there to the side. Ball is caught. A little razzle-dazzle. And then hit out of bounds.
All of that to get themselves right back to the line of scrimmage. So a nice job to gain at least a little bit of yards to not lose any.
And that was a big hit on the outside by number 34, Noah Ramirez. And Noah Ramirez is the leading tackler for the Odom Owls this season.
Yeah, Noah Ramirez, look for him to make some bigger plays. And that could have all gone wrong from the start. It looked like it could have also been read perfectly and almost picked off at the start for a defensive touchdown. So a nice job to not let that happen for West Oso.
Garza ball off over on the right side, gets around that corner and finds himself, looks like he got the first down. That was Terrell Moselle with the big carry.
Something that West Oso really enjoys to do, running the ball and not necessarily having to rely too much on the air game. It's something that definitely, if you want to be successful, especially in district play and so on into the playoffs, you have to have a good running game and a good passing game. Like I said at the start, though, they know that they are weak in one area, and so they're able to make it work with running it.
Ball thrown out to the left side. A little short. The catch is made, but his knee was down, so he is down. So a loss of about 2 on that completion. And Coach Smithy trying to mix it up here. He's seeing that the running game is doing well, but he doesn't want to go away from the passing game. He wants to continue to work it. Man in motion. Ball is handed off to the motion man, who gets maybe back up to the line of original scrimmage. That was Rashard Carrington. And once again, on that tackle, number 34, Noah Ramirez.
Yeah, Ramirez right there. He's really making Odom have to work for those first down, or excuse me, West Oso have to work for those first downs as it is third down. So we all know that.
Back, and he's looking deep, throws it up to James, but it is incomplete.
Incomplete indeed. It will end up being fourth down. So interesting play there.
So once again, like we were saying, they're trying to mix it up and have a good balance on their offensive attack.
Mm-hmm. Looks like the refs are discussing something, so there could be a late pass interference call or a late call here.
49 seconds left in this first quarter of play, with West Oso up 7-0. So let's see what the talk is. So we have some offsetting penalties here, which will take it to a 4th down for the Bears.
A huge stop by Odom, going back and forth now. One stop, 2 stops, and why that's so big is because Odom could not cash in that last time on that touchdown, basically. And so now that defense picking it up, you can see that maybe, just maybe, that will ignite the offense a little more.
Punt is up. It's a nice punt. Takes a good, nice bounce. It's picked up. Now he's trying to find some room. Big hit. Take it out. So Chaz Green was our punt returner. Picks up just a bit. Ball is spotted on the 15.
So this will probably be the last play of the first quarter, but Odom really wanting to make something count here and look for them to probably go most likely for a run of some sort.
Owls come out and a trips right. Dawson rolls to the left. Decides to put it down and take it himself. He has plenty of room to run. He has a big block. He's still on his feet. He's at the 50, the 45, the 40, the 30, the 25, the 20, the 10, the 5. It's touchdown, Odom.
Hold on, though. It looks like it's going to be brought back. Is what it looks like with a hold.
Are there some flags on the field?
Ref back at about their own 20-yard line.
That is frustration. A big time run by Hunter Dawson called back.
Yeah, normally on those big-time runs, it is common to see something like that happen where it is a hold or a block in the back or something going wrong, because sometimes you see the space normally it wouldn't be there in that case.
Ball's handed off now to end pretty close to the end of this first quarter. I think Dawson had very little time to catch his breath. Going about 80 yards. Then it gets called back and then have to run the next play. What to say about that kid's conditioning?
Exactly, yes. You have so much endurance, but at that same time, no matter what, you run 100 meters, basically 100 yards, or 80 yards, no matter what it is, you're going to be out of breath 9 times out of 10 with how much speed you have.
So that'll wrap up our first quarter with the West Oso Bears up 7-0. This is Real Sports Live. We'll be back after this.
This game is brought to you in part by the Concession Stand in Santa Rosa, a locally owned business providing a terrific atmosphere before or after the games and supporting athletes of all ages. When you're in Santa Rosa, be sure to stop by the Concession Stand and choose from the wide assortment of goodies. An advertising partner with Rio Sports Live is the Concession Stand.
And we're back, and it's a completion coming out for the second quarter. And a big time pitch and catch and run after the catch.
Fantastic gain for...
That was number 4, Kyle Castaneda, on the catch and run. Odom has some pretty good size on their side. Once again, we talked about Hunter Dawson being 6'3", Kyle Castaneda, who's a receiver and the backup quarterback, standing at 5'11". So they have some length on their side.
Almost definitely, for sure, and that's something that you always want.
Dawson hands the ball off, but Big Red was in the backfield before anything could happen.
Yeah, it's kind of frustrating when you're a player and you know that something has been successful for a while, and then you go out for another play just like it and get stopped in the backfield basically as soon as you get the ball back. So it's something that definitely Odom needs to experiment with, but this defense knows what they have to do basically for West Oso.
And add another tackle loss for number 44, Patrick Garcia. And here comes the pressure, brought down for a back snack. Daniel Escabel with the sack. West Oso Bears.
Definitely a great sack once again, just really being able to get things going for this defense. They get around this side, they get around their own territory, and they know we have to defend. Well, basically, they're saying to their team, we have to defend this.
Right.
And so it's absolutely incredible to watch, but at the same time, at any moment, Odom can burn them just like this.
Drops back and throws himself a bomb, but it's incomplete. Right now, the Bears are just running all cylinders. You know, they came out fired up, and everything has been in their favor. On the ground, through the air, defensively, their defense has been staggering tonight. Staggering. Odom trying to find their groove now. Here come the Owls. Dawson drops back. Flag on the field, though. Dawson's going to pull it himself up the left-hand side. Lots of room to run. Finally gets up to 25. But let's see what the call is.
Yeah, waiting on the signal, but it looks like it will be most likely a hold. Let's check that. False start, actually.
So that'll take the Owls back. And for them, penalties are hurting them. We saw that big-time run by Dawson earlier that was called back. Now we have this one as well. So now looking at about a 4th and 20. And the punt team has come in for the Owls.
Yeah, it's one thing for sure. They're definitely going to have to punt it as deep as they can. Obviously, they don't want a touchback, but something that we've seen Odom already do is exactly what they are trying to.
Nice punt. Takes an out bounce, but picked up. Off deflection and brought down.
Instead of that, down at about the 15-yard line for West Oso. So, Odom special teams, that has been, besides their defense, that has been the key for them tonight, is just being able to put West Oso as far as they can back in their own end.
Definitely. Lots of games on tap tonight on Real Sports Live. A couple of them that are out there around the area. Orange Grove versus London over at Toloso Midway. Sinton at Corpus Christi Miller. Refugio at Edna. Fremont at Three Rivers. Taft at Freer. And San Antonio Cole at Falfurrias was going on earlier. Handoff up the middle for a short gain. As the Bears are trying to control the tempo of this game. Now let's talk about West Oso and their district. They're in the north zone of the 4A Division II Region 4 district. 16th, which is a pretty stacked up zone with Wasoso, Robstown, Sinton, Rockport, Fulton, and Ingleside. And here come the Bears. A little burst of speed up the right side. Being brought down. Looks like he got the first down.
Actually be just about at 5 yards or 4 yards away, just about, as we have an official timeout on the field, so we'll take a little break as well.
South Padre Island Golf Club. Come for a visit. Stay for a lifetime.
Fans, if you want to look your best at the next game, then let Chewy's Custom Sports go to work for you. From custom designs and graphics to mass production in-house. If it's hats, shirts, buttons, mugs, cups, banners, and more, then Chewy's is there for every team and every sport. A veteran-owned company in touch with the community. It's Chewy's Custom Sports in San Benito.
Test one. Test one. Ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for that. We're having a little technical difficulty with our audio. And, technology these days, we're trying to do the best we can. I can only imagine, and being a teacher, I know how it is, doing remote learning, always going to come up with some hiccups here and there when dealing with technology. So we appreciate you guys staying with us. We're Real Sports Live. And on that break, we had a big run once again by Terrell Moselle, who's been doing an excellent job tonight on the ground.
Yeah, 100%. Just Moselle, this Oso team being able to really find their rhythm throughout the whole game. I know we talked a lot about them, but it's showing how hungry which team is. Just like we said at the start of the game, which team is going to be hungry. Guess what? They haven't made a mistake. They haven't necessarily, or at all actually, had a flag against them. They've had a lot of them go their way. So that's something. You don't make mistakes. You make good plays on defense, and your offense is working. Most likely that's all set up for a success to win.
And here come the Bears with a handoff to the motion man, who tries to get something going, but it looked like it was going to be a loss there. And let's see where they mark it. Let's see if they mark it for a loss, or they're going to give it to that pop fumble that went out of bounds. Looks like they're going to call it on the loss of yards.
Exactly. I think the whistle was blown right as he technically got tackled, was about to be hit, and the ball flew out. So it's kind of lucky for the Odom Owls, but I believe that is also the rule too.
The Bears spreading open the field with one man in the backfield. Ball is kept and pulled down. Looks like he wants to throw, but he wants to do a little bit more. He does find a man to throw it, but it's incomplete.
And looks like another official timeout. Will be right back after this.
Come and enjoy 2 full days of Texas Fest on March 13 and 14 at the San Benito Fairgrounds. Experience the Battle of the Alamo. See the fabulous Grammy winner Eddie da Reina Yavante and legendary Jaime de Anda, plus Los Garcia Brothers, Sereno, H3, Grupo Ácido, huge car show, market days, and join the IBCA State Championship Cook-Off. Take in native Indian, folklorico, and Aztec dancers, Reyes dancing horses, and rock climbing wall and games. Don't miss Texas Fest in San Benito.
Music lovers, you have to stop and see the assortment of records, tapes, and records memorabilia at Forever Memories today. Located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, Texas, there's over 10,000 records on display and more coming every day. Looking for your favorite album from the past, first pressings, collectibles.
All right, coming off of that official timeout, we are 5:03 left in this first half of football. The West Oso Bears up 7-0. West Oso ball, Garza in the shotgun. He pulls back and decides to take it himself. Still on his feet, does a little spin. Probably gets back to the original line of scrimmage.
Just about enough to get back there inside of Odom Owl territory. But this is going to be a long, only 4th down.
So now we're looking at a 4th and 10 with 4:22. It looks like Oso is going to give it a go here. They're in that field position right there where they can afford this.
Most definitely. It's one of those things where it's a little too short to kick, but a little too long to technically get the field goal.
Trying to get the play in, but the play clock was running short, so the Oso Bears have to call a timeout. This is Real Sports Live, and we're going to take a commercial break.
You just have to have Freddie Fender, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Elvis, Beatles, blues, rock, classics, Tejano, it's all here. Organized and priced for you, Forever Memories, 237 North Sam Houston, San Benito.
At HCISD, we move the needle forward every day. will blaze a trail for future generations.
It's not just about equipping students with skills for the future. We awaken their potential and empower them to make good choices.
No matter where you're from or where you're headed, there's a place for you to flourish at HCISD.
Welcome back to Bears Stadium. 4 minutes left in this first half of play. The West Oso Bears decide to punt. So they're in their punt formation. And it's a bad snap that goes over the head of the punter. Picks it up and gets a punt off. Waved off. The Owls are waved off. It's a nice little roll in the Bears' favor. That could have been dangerous there, Jacob.
Definitely could have. I mean, he had plenty. This is exactly why he was able to punt it away. He still had plenty of room in front of him to kick it back. But imagine, just like you said, Odom basically, if a defender or somebody was a couple of yards in front of that, well, he could have gotten a hand on it or something even worse.
So a scary situation there as that snap goes over the head of the punter, but the punter, in a smart athletic play, gets the ball off. 3:40 in this first half of football here at Bears Stadium, and it'll be Odom ball.
Refs are talking it over. I don't necessarily know about what. It seems like
I think for a quick second, the scoreboard went off. It went black, and so they got the scoreboard back on. There it is. Look, see it there? Just giving us a flash of off and on. So they're going to reset the game clock to about 3:50. We have a good crowd here tonight on this lovely Friday night. Lots of support here for both teams, and that's great to see people in the stands. Here comes the Owls. Ball is dropped. Hunter Dawson had nowhere to go and dropped for the sack, and a big-time loss for the Owls.
yeah, it's going to be about almost 10 yards of loss there. So nice job by Julius Otero to get that sack off.
Otero for with a nose for the ball, getting back there and bringing Dawson down. Owls looking to make something happen here. 3 minutes left in the first half. Dawson drops back, looking for a man. Doesn't have anything. He's on a scramble because they're all on him. Trying to get the ball off. And he gets the ball off before he's taken down for a sack. He had absolutely nowhere to go.
And that's something just like we kind of saw at the start of this game and all the way up until now.
Late flag comes out and looks like they're going to call it. Looks like they're going to call it grounding.
Yeah. So that will end up being, I believe, a safety. What does this have to do with Microsoft, man? This has nothing to do with them. Computer. It's frozen. Yes. Okay. Still won't allow me to exit anything.